I really want you to think about the impossible decisions that women have had to make throughout history. I think this book is timely. I don't ever set out to write a timely book. I normally write the story that's on my heart, and then the world sort of fits itself around it. But, you know, our history is really important, and if we don't know where we've come from, we absolutely will not know where we're going. So it's really important to keep these stories alive. Talk to your family, find out your grandmother's history, and really honor it, because our ancestors have been through so much so that we can be here. And it is never lost on me that I stand on the shoulders of very, very strong women.
Okay guys, so it's the morning time. I'm driving into work, but today is the day I literally have been waiting for. I'm such a geek. I don't think I've never been excited about a book release day like since I started reading, since I got back into reading, which is 2018 or something. But y'all know how I rant and rave about The Yellow Wife by Sadeqa Johnson. Well, her new book, The House of Eve, just came out today, and I could have pre-ordered and everything, but I wanted to go into the store to get it, just to have the experience. Lord. But I literally just called Barnes and Noble, so I'm like, just in case, I don't want to go there and they don't have it, because sometimes they be playing some little games when it comes to black authors. They be kind of shady. So I'm like, let me confirm before I drive over there after work. So they did have it. And she put it on hold for me, so I just have to go there and pick it up, which is going to be good, because I don't need to go there and be looking at other books and stuff to get. No, look, I just need to get that book and that's it. But when I tell you, I hope this day goes by fast, because my mind is going to be on The House of Eve. I schedule my books, and I knew that this book was coming out this month, so I wanted to finish my previous book, which was The Woman of Endurance, which I'll tell you guys later about in my February wrap up. But I finished that, and my main focus for February is going to be The House of Eve and Fly Girl, because of course that's our book club pick. But yeah, I just want to tell you how excited I am today. So you guys, I have my book, just got it. Just picked it up from Barnes & Noble. You guys, I'm so happy. I cannot wait to get into this, okay? I actually didn't know. I was so excited, literally the whole day. And I was looking through her Instagram, and then scrolling through Instagram, and I came across Reese's page, Reese's book club page, and Reese picked her for February. So that's really awesome. Girl, I'm like, Reese turned books into movies and miniseries. Look, let's get at least one of her books into a miniseries. I would really love to see Yellow Wife into a miniseries. But the cover is just so pretty. Isn't that pretty? I'm slightly, just a little bit annoyed that this is on there. Okay, well, first of all, I'm happy that Sadeqa Johnson is Reese Witherspoon pick. I mean, come on now. But that sticker, I thought I would be one of those people at one point. Things like that didn't really bother me, but now since I have become a collector, little things like this kind of irks my soul. Back in the day, you could just peel them off. They don't do that no more. They're like, you're not taking this sticker off, okay? Look, I don't care what sticker on there, as long as I got the book. So, yeah. I can't wait to get into this. And this is only, let's see. Oh, I love her epilogues. I can't wait. I don't want to see the pages. I'm trying to see how long this is. Oh, Lord. Man. Okay, it's 362. So, yeah. She's an author where she can write little pages and still tell a full-rounded story. That's just the beauty of a great writer. And Sadeqa Johnson is a great writer. I cannot say anything bad about her writing. It's just fantastic. So, yeah, let me start this, because I am so excited. You see, I've been talking about it for what? Forever. So, yeah. Yeah, I'm already geeked. Let me read you the first page. Okay. My grandma, Nini, always said that early was on time and on time was late and late was unacceptable. Fatty was unacceptably late again, knowing full well that I had someplace important to be. I didn't mind staying with Grandma Nini overnight once a week so that Fatty could clean offices. All I asked was that she be home in time for me to catch a bus to my Saturday enrichment classes. And for the third week in a row, Fatty dragged her heavy foot through Nini's apartment door 15 minutes behind schedule, calling out in her high-pitched voice, "Ruby girl, I'm sorry, let me tell you what happened." My cousin had more excuses than a hoe going to jail, and I didn't have time to entertain her colorful tales this morning. I had 1 hour to get all the way down to South Philly, and I twisted up my lips in a way that I hoped conveyed how annoyed I was over her lack of consideration. This girl. She said, my cousin has more excuses than a hoe going to jail. You know what? That's something my grandmother would say. Oh my goodness. Look, the first page, I'm geeked. Hey guys, so welcome back to Lex Reads. So as you saw in the beginning, I was so excited I forgot to do my intro and everything because I have just been so over the moon about this book, The House of Eve, that just came out this month. And when I tell you, this is just everything. Well, let me just give you a brief synopsis of The House of Eve. So it's set in the 50s, and you are dealing with two characters. So the first character is a young girl named Ruby, and Ruby is from Philadelphia. She has a mom that basically wished that she was never born. She is on track to becoming the first person in her family to go to college. She is in a program called Re-Rise, that it's like a prestigious program for a scholarship, and only like two people, it's like a group of, students, and only like 2 slots are available to get a full scholarship to historical Black college. And she is on, that track. She's so smart, so sweet. And like I said, she has a mom that just, girl, like when she looks at Ruby, it's like, oh girl, I just don't like you. Then you have a young woman that is about 19 years old. Her name is Eleanor, and Eleanor is from Ohio, and she is a sophomore at Howard University. And she is living in a world that is basically foreign to her. She's come from Ohio, and when it comes to like colorism and racism, it's kind of like non-existent, because in her world you have, Blacks, whites, Jews, Italians, they all just, come together to try to help each other. They don't even care about race. They're just trying to, live their life. And when you go to, Howard University, this is the first time she's dealing with colorism. This is the first time she sees that Black people are, they're separated by the color of their skin. And again, she's not used to that at all. But she ends up meeting a young man named William, and he comes from a prestigious family that comes from old money, and they come from a world where, if you dark skin, they don't really want to deal with you. They want to keep their legacy. That's their main thing, their legacy, and that bubble and that old money. They want to keep that intact. And she starts to develop a relationship with William, and see how that goes. And then in Ruby's case, Ruby develops a relationship with a young boy named Shimmy. And the catch is, Shimmy is a young Jewish boy. And again, this is in the 1950s. So that is beyond taboo. And girl, this, oh my goodness. You see, I can't even talk because Sadeqa Johnson is just beyond brilliant when it comes to writing. You remember how I was telling you guys in my January wrap up how I watched the movie Philomena, and it was talking about the main character Philomena, she was an unwed young woman that got pregnant out of wedlock, and she had to go to like a parish or a maternity home in order to like basically hide that she had the baby, um and you know, she had the baby out of wedlock, so that's a sin. And how these girls, young girls, they did not know um that their babies would be put up for adoption slash, you know, sold. This book deals with that subject. And what makes it so interesting is, you know, you see how young black women had to deal with, you know, living in these homes. And it's so crazy because I was like, I just watched that movie Philomena and was telling you guys about that, and how, you know, especially in like I was telling you guys, in like old Hollywood, a lot of the actresses like Joan Crawford, who else? Jane Russell, they bought slash adopted their children because they couldn't have any. And this is, you know, before the times of like IVF and all of that. So when women were barren, this is how they were able to, if they wanted a child, this is how they were able to get one. You basically, you know, you have these maternity homes that are mainly ran by nuns, and some girls, they know why they're there, and some girls, they don't know why they're there. Sometimes their parents or whoever, you know, is taking care of them, they just drop them off, and then after the baby is born, they go on like nothing happened, because it's kept a secret. And back in those days, you know, adoption, that wasn't praised like it was now. You know, a lot of the records were sealed, because if you were a woman that was barren, and if you did adopt a child, it was kind of looked down upon. You didn't want that to be known because you were kind of like less of a woman. And this book explores that, but like I said, it explores it with black women. And when I tell you, I'm just like so flabbergasted of just the research that Sadeqa Johnson does. I love the fact that she embodies real characters, real women, in her story. One of the characters that she talks about is a woman named Dorothy Porter. She mainly was like a historian, and she was known as what did they say? I think the bag lady, because she if it wasn't for her, like the archives and Howard University, they wouldn't exist. She would go through old basements and attics and get like all this memorabilia, and to the untrained eye, it would look like, oh, that's junk, but to her, it wasn't. And because she did that, you know, if you go to Howard University, the whole archive of just black literature, pamphlets, records, just everything that you can name, it was because of her. But she is in this book. She actually is Eleanor's boss, because Eleanor works in the library, and Dorothy Porter, like I said, she was a historian slash a library archivist, I think, if that is that the word. And I actually knew a little bit about Dorothy Porter. So when I saw that name, I was just so excited. So far, I am loving this book. This is just, it's ridiculous how do you write like this? I'm always like, when, you know, when I come across writers, and when they tell a well-rounded story, and it's a story that you just cannot get out of your mind, it's like, how do you write so well? You know, she writes like it's a movie. I can see everything, like with Eleanor, like her being in her dorm, her walking into you know, around Howard University campus, her in her library, her seeing William. It's just like, oh my goodness. And the same thing with Ruby, like, you know, you seeing her, you know, through walking through North Philly, and her talking to Shimmy, and it's just so, oh Lord, like this book is just, I'm just gushing, okay? But yeah, so far, amazing. So I want to read you the part where Ruby meets Shimmy for the first time. It's so cute. So backstory with Ruby and her aunt Marie. Shimmy's father owns like the building, and they pay like rent to her father, and sometimes when like things get like broken, he sends Shimmy to fix things. He, you know, knocks on the door, and Ruby likes to paint. He, like, you know, looks at her paintings and, you know, really likes it. And let me just read it to you. So it says, my heart was thumping, like I had just taken the stairs 2 at a time. Shimmy stood so close to me that we were almost touching. The way he stared at my painting made me feel like he was peeking at my soul. He finished his water and then put his cup on the sink, turned from the door, and he said, I better go. Tell your aunt my mother will send someone by. Guess I'll see you around, Ruby. When? The question escaped from my lips too quickly for my brain to stop it, and I wanted to grab the word and shove it back inside. There was no reason for me to see this white boy again, even if he liked my art. I work at Greenwald's candy store. He offered a boyish grin. Come by tomorrow for a melt. We'll see. Shimmy hesitated in the hallway. If you come out, it'll be on me. I can pay for myself. Of course, I didn't mean. Thanks for looking at the sink, I said quickly before closing the door. Donna Washington stopped singing, and I replaced her album with Billie Holiday's Lover Man. Filled the room as I stood over the sink. Shimmy's mug was the only dish in the sink. I picked it up and without thinking rested the rim against my bottom lip. He is so cute. I love him. So yeah, girl. Ruby has got the hots for the Jewish boy. And it's 1950, so yeah. And then this is another scene that I love. Shimmy stood a few feet from the ironing railing. Hi. I didn't look up from my book, even though I could no longer make sense of the words on the page. What you reading? I held up the cover, willing him with my mind to go. I read this last year. Decent for Shakespeare. Then I couldn't help myself. Which of his is your favorite? Probably Romeo and Juliet. Why? I'm a sucker for forbidden love stories. He swept his hair out of his eyes and smiled. I'll never beg you as a hopeless romantic. Mind if I sit? I looked up the street to see who was watching. On this block, someone was always paying attention. It's not a good idea. He lowered himself onto the step 2 steps below me and peered up at me through his lashes. They were long and full, and ashamed to waste on a boy who already had so many good features. I don't want you to get in trouble anymore. I turned my face towards the sky. Sorry about Mr. Greenwald. I didn't know he'll act like that. So what happened was, his boss, they were at the candy shop, and he saw Ruby and Shimmy like playing music and eating their ice cream, and he was like, you cannot be friends with her. She's a black girl. Like, you can't fool with them. And so he was like really rude, and clearly it scared Ruby, as it should. And yeah, but then they agreed to like meet up. How he how they do like their meetups. He drives his dad's car into an alley, and she gets in the back seat, because again, she really likes him, but it's like she knows that we come from 2 different worlds, and I could possibly get hurt if I'm dealing with Shimmy. But he's just so sweet. He is he's just so cute and so charismatic and so gentle and so soft. You cannot help but like him. Oh my goodness. And then he's so cute with those pretty green eyes, and oh girl, he's the cutest thing. Ruby's mother name is Arnez, and she like real trifling. She literally cares about her man as opposed to her child. She kicks her child out, and now Ruby is living with Aunt Marie. And Aunt Marie, let me just read you this part. So it says, humming along with Donna Washington, Aunt Marie slipped on a stark white men's dress shirt that hung from her closet door, then handed me a pair of gold cufflinks to fasten for her. After stepping into men's trousers and a checkered sports jacket, she finished the look with clip-on chandelier earrings. So Aunt Marie is actually based off of a real person named Gladys Bentley. And Gladys Bentley, she was a lounge singer, and she was real provocative and real like girl, not typical when it came to like the 1940s, 1950s. She would dress in men's clothing when she would like flirt with the women in the audience, and she sung like real like raunchy songs, and she wore like red lipstick, and Aunt Marie is based off of her. And Aunt Marie is basically like a surrogate mother to Ruby. She just, takes her in because she know her mama is just trifling. She know her sister trifling. But again, like I was telling you, I love how Sadeqa Johnson actually has her fictional characters that are inspired by real people. It's just like the beauty of a good writer. I just love it. She works at a club called Kiki's, and she also runs numbers. She carries a gun. You don't mess with Aunt Marie, okay? Don't mess with her. She will get you all the way together. But she has a sweetness to her she's like, again, don't get on her bad side, but she has a sweetness to her. And when it comes to Ruby, I just love their relationship. I love it. So with Eleanor, there is this, this girl named Greta. What's Greta's last name, girl? I can't. Oh, she get on my nerves. Hepburn. And she is the president of the ABCs. The ABCs is a fraternity, and basically it's, back in the day they had like the brown paper bag where basically everyone in that sorority is like light bright, and if you are dark skinned, you come for money. That's why you're, in the group, in the sorority, but mainly they're like light where they don't look like black people. You know what I mean? They could pass. And Greta grew up with William because again he's that old money, and she knows that William likes her, and she knows that William likes Eleanor, and she clearly she's like, I don't understand why you like her, but let me read you this part because I'm like, oh girl, she just got on my nerves. Okay, so like backstory, Eleanor is meeting William's family for the first time, and she's really, really nervous because she knows that clearly he comes from money and he comes from a world that she does not know. As the first course of spring salad and tomato soup was served, Greta looked at Eleanor with a curious expression. Eleanor, right? I didn't expect to see you here. Good to see you again, Eleanor replied, knowing full well that Greta knew her name. And then this right here gets me. What's going on between you and William? She's asked through gritted teeth. Eleanor remembered the spilled drink. So when they first got together, she like accidentally spilled some drink on Eleanor. No, she didn't. She did that on purpose. But okay. What is it to you? Just curious. Our families go way back. She eyed her and then opened her compact and started powdering her nose. Yes, you said that. Greta turned her gaze onto Eleanor. Some advice just between us girls. It would be wise for you to walk away from him. Save yourself the time. Eleanor didn't believe her audacity before she could open her mouth. Greta continued. I remember your application to the ABCs detailing your busy position at the library. And then I saw you through the windows folding sweaters at Warren's too. I don't understand how you have time for a beau with all those jobs. And then Eleanor says, just what are you saying? Eleanor pushed her words out with fury. Greta closed her compact and slipped it back into her clutch. I'm just trying to save you trouble. He's out of your league, dear one. You don't know me. Listen, she took a step forward. Listen, you want to make ABC line next semester. Then you best follow my advice. Eleanor took a step closer so that they were eye to eye. Sounds like a threat. There are plenty of men on campus for you to rendezvous with. William belongs to us. Girl, I cannot stand her. But she is beyond bold, I tell you that, okay? It's like, girl, I cannot stand her. But this also got me. It's important to remember where we come from. I think it's important to forget it and move on. Eleanor's jaw dropped. White people talking about Negroes like that in their own home? Before she could stop herself, she glanced up at William in shock. You have to excuse them. Those are two of my father's oldest friends. They were roommates at Howard. Howard fell from her lips. Those men were Negroes. Eleanor opened her eyes wider, but didn't see a trace of anything in their features that would mark them as such. So again, everyone in their circle is like light bright, and she is, again, she's this is all foreign to her. She's like, how is this, like, they're Negroes? Like, so that part was really interesting. I love how Sadeqa wrote that. Literally, it's like I'm reading a movie. That's why I love her works. I had the same experience when I read Yellow Wife. It was that same thing where I felt like I was watching a movie. Okay, guys, like, real quick before I go to bed, it's like 12:30. I have to get up in the morning to go to work. But so far, I am loving this book. Sadeqa Johnson has just the ability to, oh, it's undescribable. It's a page turner. You want to know what's going to happen. I was thinking while reading this book, you know, comparing it to like The Yellow Wife. And when I tell you, she's a good writer, because the characters that were in, The Yellow Wife, I don't see them at all in here. And you know how you have a writer where, you know, when they write multiple books, it's kind of like it's the same character in like a different setting, you know? And I don't get that feeling with this. You know, with these two women. It's just, you see, I can't even form a simple declarative sentence because this woman just knows how to write. I am, so far, you know, I've been tabbing it, okay? And I'm only on page 60. Right now, I don't have the urge to highlight. But again, I'm just on page 60. I am tabbing it, but y'all know I say it time and time again. If I like a book, I will get 2 copies so I can have one I can annotate, highlight, and have a pretty, you know, copy. And with this author, you already know I go ham on her. I got 3 copies of Yellow Wife. The fact that Sadeqa Johnson is known, she started off as a contemporary author, and you go into historical fiction, it's just like, the fact that she can write both of those genres, like, come on now, you just bad all around. So yeah, I'm tired, but it's like I really want to stay up and read this, but I can't. I'm not gonna be able to function tomorrow at work. But yeah, I just want to tell you guys, pick it up. I'm only on page 60 and I'm telling y'all to pick it up. Like, this was my anticipated read for 2023, and I'm not disappointed, and I'm not even halfway in the book. All right, guys, I just got home from work. It is so cold. As you guys know, you always hear that, like, I don't even know how to describe that, but that's my heat. I stay cold, like always cold, and it has been in the teens and like mid-20s. I think currently it is 23 degrees, and when I came in here, the temperature in my apartment was 61. Yesterday it was like 55. But I stay with heat on. I'm always cold girl. But I came home to some packages. Well, one package. Well, actually, no. 2 packages. I came home to what do you call it? Oh, Lord, my mind. Amazon, because I ordered, finally, Fly Girl. As you guys know, this is our book club pick. I didn't realize that this book is like 500 and something pages. I despise mass market paperbacks. I don't like the feel of them. They can be so uncomfortable to read. But I know I'm gonna go on Thrift Books because it's cheaper. And I can get another edition that I think that it's not a mass market paperback, because I know I'm probably going to need a copy of this, because I'm going to, you know, since we are doing a book club, I'm going to write and do all that. I want to, you know, be prepared. So yeah, I am going to get another edition. This was $10, and I think I actually put links, I believe, on the announcement video of the book club of where you can get Fly Girl. So obviously from Amazon, and then for Thrift Books, and I think that one's like $4. So I am going to get another edition of that. But yeah, I got this. And then Macmillan Publishers, they sent me 2 books, which one of them unbelievably excited about, because you guys know when I go, you know, to like a bookstore, and if I don't buy it right away, I'll take a picture of it and I'll write it down, and I'll be like, okay, next time I'll get it, or whenever. But I wanted to get this. This actually came out this month, I believe. No, it came out last month, which is January. Man, that went by fast, because we are in February. And this is The Evidence of Things Not Seen. This was James Baldwin, I believe, last book. And this is talking about the child murders in Atlanta in like the late 70s, early 80s. Over 24 Black students were murdered. If you guys know Sadeqa Johnson, she wrote American Marriage. Her first book, I believe, which is this is the only book I have not read of hers, Leaving Atlanta. It talks about that, because she had 2 or 3 students or kids in her class that actually passed, and she's from Atlanta. So I know this does kind of talk about it a little bit, but this is fictional. This is, like I said, the only book I haven't read by her. I've read all of her other books, because she has 4 books in total. But yeah, he is talking about this, and I just know a tiny bit about that history, and people often forget, because it's not like, you know, well known. And the reason why I know it is because of Sadeqa Johnson book. But I was so excited to get this. When I saw this morning, it just made my day. And look at this cover, and it has a beautiful foreword by Stacey Adams. I read it. Stacey Abrams. I think I might display, because it's just so pretty. And then they also sent me this, How We Can Win. This is by Kimberly Jones. Race History and Changing the Money Game That's Rigged. And I know this is clearly like a social science book. I've never heard of her. I know she's an activist. I'm gonna have to look her up. But I was so excited to get this, so thank you so much, Macmillan Publisher. So thank you so much, Macmillan Publishing, because I really wanted it, especially this James Baldwin book. I know they are a company under, or their trademark or something, with Henry Holt and Company. So yeah, I'm gonna have to tag them when I'll probably put this on my Instagram stories.
I can picture us in the living room by the mantelpiece, and you're telling me you love me. Put your hands on my thighs while I'm staring in your brown.
Oh my goodness, guys, she referenced something from The Yellow Wife. Oh, I'm not gonna tell y'all. Oh my goodness, I am outdone. Okay. This sentence also got me. Okay. I stepped my back to the door, shaking uncontrollably, but I knew I had done the right thing. I had to move on, even if it meant I would do so with only half my heart intact. I had lost the 2 people I love most. I didn't need to be happy, but I could not be poor. All I could do was believe that the future I was moving towards would be worth it. That sentence, I didn't need to be happy, but I could not be poor. That is just the embodiment of Ruby. That is Right there, oh my goodness, my heart. Girl, my heart. My baby is broken. Oh my goodness, this book is so good. Okay, guys, I just finished this. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. You guys know how I always say if I like a book, I will get a second copy. Look what I did. I didn't even I wasn't even done with the book before I got a second copy, because you guys know this is the one I highlighted and annotated, and then this is my pretty copy. And probably when this book comes on paperback, I'm going to get it just like I did with The Yellow Wife. I'm just obsessed with Sadeqa Johnson. Anything that she writes, I'm getting. I already have Second House from the Corner, which is a contemporary fiction novel, because she was a contemporary, novelist before she got into historical fiction. And then I need to get her first novel, Love in a Carry-On Bag, and then I need to get And Then There Is Me. And I'll have all of her books, because girl, I gotta read all of her books. But it was so bittersweet. She is an author where the ending, it kind of has a cliffhanger, but you are beyond satisfied. It's like, okay, if she doesn't write a sequel, you're satisfied. If she does write a sequel, it's like, okay, the more the merrier. But it's like, you got what you needed, and it was realistic. And I love every aspect of it. And, when it came to Ruby and Eleanor's story, it ended how it should have. Okay. And yeah, that's all I'm going to say, because I don't want to just, give it away clearly. I want you guys to have the experience that I'm having, because I have so many emotions. I, was sad. I was happy. I was just everything. And this also too, she has she keeps you on your toes. It's almost like a suspense, because you want to know what's going to happen. She has all her books, it's a real page turner, and that was the same exact feeling I had with The Yellow Wife. It was a page turner. You want to know what's going to happen, and that's why I read this so fast, because I just could not put this book down. Okay, girl. I can't say anything bad about this book. I love the fact that in her author's notes, she talks about the inspiration of this book. It was actually inspired by her grandmother. Her grandmother had her mother when she was 15 years old. She got pregnant at 14, and she was like the black sheep of the family. And her mother did not know that her mother actually was her mother until she was in the 3rd grade, because she was raised by her grandmother. And then she said, when she was thinking about Eleanor's character, she watched the documentary The Pieces of Me by Toni Morrison. If you guys haven't watched it, I urge you to watch it. And Toni talked about how when she first got to Howard University, she was so unaware of colorism and unaware that blacks separated themselves when it came to, skin tones and skin and colorism, because she grew up in Ohio, and she was like, I grew up around, Italians, whites, Jews, everyone. And we didn't have that. So when she came to Howard University, it was foreign, people actually separate themselves by color. And she was inspired by that, because Eleanor is from Ohio. Toni Morrison's from Ohio, and Toni Morrison went to Howard University. Eleanor went to Howard University. So I just love that. But Sadeqa, amazing. I am so happy for her. I'm so happy that she is a Reese Witherspoon pick. I mean, she's going to get her coins. Oh, I pray that she makes New York Times bestseller, because that should have made New York Times bestseller. This needs to make New York Times bestseller. Look, we need a mini series, a limited series movie. Reese is known for, turning them books into movies. Look, let's get this for Sadeqa Johnson, okay? I would love to see this on screen. I would love to see this on screen. But y'all, pick it up. Please pick it up. You see I'm fangirling once again. I got 2 copies. Girl, this don't make no sense. And I had the same experience and the same feeling where after I finished reading this book, went to start reading it again. And now I'm going back and highlighting passages, because what I did is I just tabbed them when I first read the book. Now I'm going back to the tabs and I'm highlighting them. So y'all, again, over the moon about this book. Please get it. You will not regret it. It's a page turner. You want to know what's going to happen. Yeah, girl. All right, that's all I got. That's all I have. And I'll be back with more Black books. Bye.